Israel. Uh, I would say good morning, but it ain't morning. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all who know, the Sabbath did start at even last night. And for y'all who don't know, well, you know, some of y'all who just being tossed to and fro with every slight and wind of doctrine that comes out. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So why did it title it that when I just put the title? Whatever. Anywho, happy Sabbath to y'all. What we gonna do is not necessarily like hold a class, but we're gonna read the history of Susanna up in her. Now, it's a lot of things you can take from the story of Susanna, a lot, and we might discuss a little bit after we get done reading it. All right. Um, but for those of you who don't like to read, I guess today is a good day for you because we'll read it to you. So we're not gonna do precepting and all that. We're just gonna read the history, and then we'll take the basis from it. And then for those in the building, we'll go through precepting and all that stuff another day. We'll let the Lord lead it, all right? However it goes, however it comes out, it comes out. So the history of Susanna in the Apocrypha. Whoever ready, go ahead and call and read.
All right, Susanna, verse 1.
All right. Shalom, shalom, young prophetess Ariana in the building. Shalom. Um, it's about time we get you a Bible and Apocrypha too. So today we're gonna read a little history to you. I'm saying just follow along. Well, you can't follow along, but yeah, just listen along. Let me say this thing because it's not letting me see it. Okay, reading Susanna. Let me say this thing because it's not letting me see it. All right, whenever you're ready to start.
Susanna, verse 1. There dwelt a man in Babylon called Joachim, and he took a wife whose name was Susanna, the daughter of Chelcias, a very fair woman.
Now, she was a very fair woman, so this means she was a very beautiful sister. Susanna was a very beautiful woman. Shalom, Brother Batista, shalom. Go ahead.
And one that feared the Lord. Her parents also were righteous and taught their daughters according to the law of Moses. Now Joachim was a great rich man and had a fair garden joining unto his house. And to him resorted the Jews, because he was more honorable than all others. The same year were appointed two of the ancients of the people to be judges, such as the Lord spake of, that wickedness came from Babylon from ancient judges, who seemed to govern the people. These kept much at Joachim's house, and all that had any suits in law came unto them. Now when the people departed away at noon, Susanna went into her husband's garden to walk, and the two elders saw her going in every day and walking, so that their lust was inflamed toward her.
Right, so Susanna was beautiful. Now, these two elders, they done sat at the dinner table with her husband and everything. They lusted after her. They literally lusted after her so much that every single day they went by there to see this woman walk through the garden. All right, watch this.
And they perverted their own mind.
They perverted their own minds.
And turned away their eyes.
Right. When it says they perverted their own mind, Brothers do that a lot. Sisters say, hey, let me know if she want me. Like they prefer they put thoughts in their own mind as if they made her want them in their own minds. Did I say that right?
Something like that.
Okay.
And turned away their eyes, that they might not look unto heaven, nor remember just judgment.
Right. Nor remember just judgment. So they pervert their own minds to the point where when it says look not toward the heaven, they didn't regard the laws and they wouldn't remember just judgments.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this.
And albeit they both were wounded with her love, yet thirst not one shew another his grief, for they were ashamed to declare their lust.
So obviously they knew what the hell they was doing was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They both doing the same damn thing, but they hiding from each other, lusting after the woman.
Mm-hmm. That they desired to have to do with her, yet they watched diligently from day to day to see her. And the one said to the other, let us now go home, for it is dinner time.
Think about this. This low life, nasty son of a. They hanging with you every day. They hanging with you every day. Meanwhile, they both scoping at your wife. Or you got a sister and she hanging with you. Meanwhile, she checking out your husband.
Right.
Every day. Come on.
So when they were gone out, they parted the one from the other. And turning back again, they came to the same place.
so they were supposed to split up and go home. He thinking he don't went this way to go home. He don't went this way. As soon as they'll see each other, they turn around to go back and end up meeting face to face. What you doing here? What you doing here? Oh, I forgot something. Watch this.
And after that, they had asked one another the cause. They acknowledged their lust.
So because they were supposed to be going home and they both ended up meeting up at that woman's place again, now they ain't got no choice but to go ahead and tell the truth. You know what? I forgot something. What you forgot? What you forgot?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. They just admitted to each other.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm here because I'm checking out his wife. Damn, me too. All right, watch this.
Then appointed they a time both together, when they might find her alone. And it fell out, as they watched a fit time, she went in as before with two maids only, and she was desirous to wash herself in the garden, for it was hot. And there was nobody there save the two elders that had hid themselves and watched her. Then she said to her maids, bring me oil and washing balls, and shut the garden doors that I may wash me. And they did as she bade them, and shut the garden doors, and went out themselves at private doors to fetch the things that she had commanded them. But they saw not the elders, because they were hid. Now when the maids were gone forth, the two elders rose up and ran unto her, saying, behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore consent unto us and lie with us.
So they done hid in the garden doors, and when this woman gets naked to take a bath, they run out and say, okay, the door's closed, nobody can see. Have sex with us.
If thou wilt not, we will bear witness against you.
And if you will not, we're going to bear false witness against you. We're going to bear false witness against you. We're going to bear witness. Because now you got to remember, these are two elders.
Mm-hmm.
You know on how high esteem they sitting? They words can get you put to death. They saying, lay with us, or we're going to bear witness against thee.
That a young man
now, hold on, because now for y'all who know, there is a law about bearing false witness.
Mm-hmm.
There's a commandment. That will be your precept in that situation. Go ahead.
that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maid from thee. Then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side, for if I do this thing, it is death unto me.
Right. She said, I'm straightening on every side. No matter which way I go about this, it's going to be death unto me.
Mm-hmm.
If I lay with you, Most High is going to kill me regardless. And then knowing these wicked, nasty Negroes, they probably get you killed anyways.
Mm-hmm. And if I do it not, I cannot escape your hand.
Because they were elders. They were similar today. You look at some congregations, right? The people there worship the so-called bishops.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing like the bishops can do evil in front of them and they will act as if they didn't see it. So she's like, I can't escape your hand either. If I don't do it, I won't be able to escape your hand. Why? Because people hold y'all in such high esteem. My words will be nothing. Whatever y'all say, they're gonna believe it. So it's gonna be death unto me either way.
It is better for me to fall into your hands and not to do it.
Right. He said. So she said, well, I'd rather die at y'all hands than to do it and be put to death through the Most High hands, because you can't escape the Most High judgment. Y'all can only kill the flesh.
Mm-hmm. Then to sin in the sight of the Lord.
Right. So I'd rather die from y'all allow me than to sin in the sight of the Most High.
With that, Susanna cried with a loud voice, and the two elders cried out against her. Then ran the one and opened the garden door. So when the servants of the house heard the cry in the garden, they rushed in at a private door to see what was done unto her. But when the elders had declared their matter, the servants were greatly ashamed, for there was never such a report made of Susanna. And it came to pass the next day, when the people were assembled to her husband Joachim, the two elders came also full of mischievous imaginations against Susanna to put her to death.
Right. Now, think about the evil in this, man. Think about the evil in this. They weren't doing, all the lies you can tell, they was telling one that was intentionally to get her put to death.
Mm-hmm. That's that. If I can't have it, no one could.
Man.
That's messed up. And said before the people, send for Susanna, the daughter of Shelkias, Joachim's wife. And so they sent. So she came with her father and mother, her children, and all her kindred. Now Susanna was a very delicate woman, and beauteous to behold. And these wicked men commanded to uncover her face, for she was covered, that they might be filled with her beauty.
Check this out. They want to get their eyes filled with one more look at her beauty as they get her killed. Uncover her. Because what a lot of people don't know, in certain corrections in history of they would uncover you. Like they will uncover you. Like certain corrections, like take your head covering off, because that was also to be. Go to go to 1 Corinthians about the women with head coverings. Just as, you know what I'm saying. Start at verse 3. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. This is so just to get a reason why they wanted her to be uncovered. First Corinthians 11 and 3.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man. The head of Christ is God. Every man praying or prophesying having his head covered dishonoreth his head.
Right. Every man having his head covered. Now, this is what kind of hit me the other day that made sense. Now, some people ain't going to agree with it, but it is what it is. If my head is like this, is it covered?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is covered. We agree, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about this?
No.
Is my head covered?
No.
It's wrapped. That's going around my head. If I say cover that cover that food up, am I telling you to do something like this? Like I say cover this cup. Am I telling you to do this?
No.
No, because something can still what?
Get inside.
Right. If I say covered, I'm telling you to do what?
Over the top.
Put something over it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if they say the man should not prophesy with his head covered, is your head covered like this?
No.
No, it's just something going around it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I say a man shouldn't prophesy with his head covered, what is this?
Covered.
Your head is covered. Covering goes over something, not around it.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to, because it's a lot of people getting on people for wearing sweatbands and all that stuff when they teaching. That's not your head being covered.
Mm-hmm.
That is not your head being covered. Your head is covered with something going over it. All right. So now, I'm sorry I digress, but I just want to bring that to y'all because that's what when I was like, damn. When I say cover my drink, I mean literally put something on top of my drink.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now, read 4 again.
First Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 4. Every man praying or prophesying having his head covered dishonoreth his head. But every woman that prayeth or prophesied with her head uncovered dishonoreth her husband. Her head.
So this is a twofold in Susanna when it told them to uncover her. Why? Because the lie was that she tried to lay with them. So who was she dishonoring when she tried to lie with them? She dishonored her husband. For you to mess around on your husband is not only a sin in the Most High eyes, but it's also dishonoring your husband. Now, watch this. Read on in Corinthians.
For that is even all as one if she was shaven. For the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered.
So for them to say take off her covering, it was saying that because this is a shameful matter, she should be ashamed. That's why even if you know the history, when women were up for corrections, a lot of times they would tell you take your head covering off.
Yeah, face cover too.
Well, in her case, if you read it, that's what it says.
Yeah.
But they wanted her to be shown, because this is a shameful matter of what they're accusing her of. All right. So now let's go back to Susanna.
And these wicked men commanded to uncover her face, for she was covered, that they might be filled with her beauty. Therefore her friends and all that saw her wept. Then the 2 elders stood up in the midst of the people and laid their hands upon her head. And she weeping looked toward heaven, for her heart trusted in the Lord.
Now she's crying. And the people that was close to her crying because it said she was a delicate woman, one that feared the Lord. So, and there was never no such report of anything like that made against her.
Mm-hmm.
So, they weeping and she crying. And just like a Negro, I can't help but to touch you. So I got to put my hand on your head. Watch this.
And the elders said,
Oh yeah, she trusted in the Lord. She looked up to the Lord. Watch this, watch this.
and the elders said, as we walked in the garden alone, this woman came in with 2 maids and shut the garden doors and sent the maids away. Then the young man who there was hid came unto her and lay with her. Then we that stood in a corner of the garden, seeing this wickedness, ran unto them. And when we saw them together, the man we could not hold, for he was stronger than we, and opened the door and leaped out. But having taken this woman, we asked who the young man was, but she would not tell us. These things do we testify. Then the assembly believed them as those that were the elders and judges of the people.
You're right. That's why I said I can't escape thee. Because a lot of people hold their elders in so much high esteem that their elders can't do absolutely no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Now they done excluded themselves from the story. They done just made up an imaginary person saying that they caught them having sex and the dude was too strong and too fast for them to hold. And she wouldn't tell who it was. You know?
So they condemned her to death.
And the judgment was put Susanna to death. Come on.
Then Susanna cried out with a loud voice and said, O everlasting God, that knowest the secrets and knowest all things before thou be. Thou knowest that they have borne false witness against me, and behold, I must die. Whereas I never did such things as these men have maliciously invented against me. And the Lord heard her voice. Therefore, when she was led to be put to death, the Lord raised up the Holy Spirit of a young youth, whose name was Daniel.
Right. So now, Susanna could have got herself put to death, right?
Mm-hmm.
All she had to do was, you she didn't do that. She cried out to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
This is a heavy piece because sometimes, you know, remember why we said last night we were just talking about taming the tongue being disciplined. Now, this was a situation, you put anybody else in that situation, and 9 times out of 10, they saying stuff that's going to go ahead and get them put to death. And start calling the elders all type of bitches and lying other elders and everything. But she prayed, she called out to the Most High, and the Most High raised up a young youth whose name was Daniel. Now Daniel is young. These are elders. Ain't nobody else speaking up against no elders, but this young man steps up.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to show you, man. The Most High could use a baby to confound you in this truth. Watch this.
Who cried with a loud voice, I am clear from the blood of this woman. Then all the people turned them toward him and said, what mean these words that thou hast spoken? So he standing in the midst of them said, are ye such fools, ye sons of Israel, that without examination or knowledge of the truth, ye have condemned a daughter of Israel?
Right, so y'all ain't even tested the theories or the story that these people saying. Y'all just gonna run with what they saying and condemn a daughter of Israel? All right.
Return again to the place of judgment, for they have borne false witness against her. Wherefore all the people turned again in haste. And the other said unto him, come sit down among us and show it us, seeing God have given thee the honor of an elder.
Right, because Daniel was young, but it was obvious the Most High was dealing with his spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So watch this.
Then said Daniel unto them, put these 2 aside, one far from another.
He said, put them in separate rooms.
And I will examine them.
Right. Now, this right here lets you know that what? Esau has stolen our records, because when he wants to interrogate 2 people, what does he do? He separates them. And let's see if the stories
match up.
Bingo. Watch this.
So when they were put asunder one from another, he called one of them and said unto him, O thou that art waxing old in wickedness, now thy sins which thou hast committed aforetime are come to light. For thou hast pronounced false judgment, and hast condemned the innocent, and hast let the guilty go free. Albeit the Lord said, the innocent and righteous shall thou not slay. Now then, if thou hast seen her, tell me, Under what tree sawest thou them companying together? Who answered, under a mestic tree.
Right. He said, okay, so now your lies and your wickedness when they come to the light. So he goes to the first one. He say, you say y'all both saw them having sex saw them having sex. What tree were they having sex under? And he says, what tree?
A mestic tree.
Right, now watch this.
And Daniel said, very well.
Okay.
Thou hast lied against thy own head.
Right, watch this.
For even now the angel of God have received the sentence of God to cut thee in two. So he put him aside and commanded to bring the other, and said unto him, O thou seed of Canaan, and not of Judah, beauty hath deceived thee, and lust hath perverted thine heart. Thus have ye dealt with the daughters of Israel, and they for fear company with you. But the daughters of Judah would not abide your wickedness. Now therefore tell me.
Now, watch this, read on real quick.
Now therefore tell me, under what tree didst thou take them companying together?
Right, so remember he asked the first one the same thing. The other one said a master tree. Now he asked the second one the same question. What tree did you see them under? Watch this.
Who answered? Under a home tree.
Under who?
A home tree.
Uh-oh. Is this story the same?
No.
Oh shit. Let's go.
Then said Daniel unto him, well, thou hast also lied against thy own head. For the angel of God waiteth with the sword to cut thee in two, that he may destroy you. With that, all the assembly cried out with a loud voice and praised God, who saveth them that trust in him. And they arose against the two elders, for Daniel had convicted them of false witness by their own mouth.
By the mouth, by the words of your own mouth, you condemn it yourself.
Yep.
Job.
Job.
No, goddamn, I thought y'all was gonna help me out. Job 15:6.
Job chapter 15 and verse 6. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yet thine own lips testify against thee.
Right, so Daniel was telling them, you just condemned your own self by your own mouth. By your own mouth. Now, Daniel had wisdom at a young age, actually, to consult with the matter in the fashion that he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you think about it, Solomon. Is Daniel before Solomon or after Solomon's time?
After. Well, then, well, according to how this says, he'll be before. That's what I was thinking about it.
No. Solomon wasn't in captivity.
So then he was after.
Right. Solomon wasn't in captivity. Remember that. Remember Solomon, David, they never lost a war. Mm-hmm. All right. So this is after Solomon's time. Now Daniel had wisdom. The way he just dealt with this matter was the same way Solomon dealt with a matter years and years beforehand. Get it? And let's prove that. Go to Solomon. You probably already know what story I want to. 1 Kings. 1 Kings chapter 3. We're going to start at verse 16. 13. No, start at 16. I'm going to show you he dealt with the same thing. He dealt with this matter basically the same way. But Solomon, the way that Solomon did it, it was, well, you got to read it because it happened it was a different scenario. But the wisdom that Solomon had to break that thing down in a matter of moments. Watch this. What I call 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 16.
Oh, yeah. 16.
Yeah, start at 16.
1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 16. Then came there 2 women that were harlots unto the king and stood before him.
Hey, one thing about the Bible, you will realize that the Bible don't mind calling a woman a harlot. If you was a hoe, you would know. Come on.
And the one woman said, O my Lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass the 3rd day after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also, and we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, save we 2 in the house. And this woman's child died in the night because she overlaid it. And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me, while thy handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead.
Right. So 2 women living in the house. One of them child died while they were sleeping. She woke up, saw her child was dead. So she goes and sneaks in the other one room, lay her dead child in the room with her, and then take the other woman's living child. And now she acting like it's her child. Watch this, you know.
And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son which I did bear. And
like a mother ain't gonna realize that ain't her child.
Right.
Watch this.
And the other women said, Nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son. And this said, No, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they speak before the king. Then said the king, The one said, This is my son that liveth, and thy son is the dead. And the other said, Nay, but the son is the dead, and my son is the living. And the king said, Bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king.
So Solomon said, Give me a sword then. I tell you what, bring me a damn sword.
And the king said, Divide the living child in 2.
He said, Well, cut the living child in half.
And give half to one and the other half to the other.
So y'all split the baby. I'm gonna cut them down the center, and you get one half and you get the other half.
Then spake the woman whose the living child was unto the king. For the bowels yearned upon her son, and she said, O my king, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other said,
Right. So one mama said, Man, just give her the child. Don't kill him. Don't cut him in half. Just give her the child. And the other one said, What?
Let it be neither mine nor thy, but divided.
Well, kill it, baby. Nope. Slice it in half then. Watch this.
Then the king answered and said, Give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to do judgment.
Right. So Solomon, in a matter of seconds, okay, I'll tell you what. It's your child, yeah, and it's your child. All right. I'll tell you what, since y'all can't figure out who child it is, we're gonna slice the baby in half, and you get half of it, you get half. The one who mama was would do anything to save her child life. No, just go ahead and let her have it. Don't kill it. The one who wasn't a mama will slay it then. I'm gonna take half of you take it. He said, No, it's not your child, it's hers. Give it to her.
She probably put it up, right?
Let's go back to Susanna. Let's go back to Susanna.
You thought I used that one before too.
Oh yeah? Yeah. So let's bring Susanna.
Susanna, verse 62. Well, I read 61. And they arose against the 2 elders, for Daniel had convicted them of false witness by their own mouth. And according to the law of Moses, they did unto them in such sort as they maliciously attended to do to their neighbor.
Right. Because remember, that's a law.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You do unto your neighbor as you would have, as they maliciously try to have her killed.
They got it.
Now it's your judgment. That's your judgment because you were proved as a liar. You know?
And they put them to death.
They did what?
Put them to death.
You know?
Thus, the innocent blood was saved the same day. Therefore, Chelcias and his wife praised God for their daughter Susanna with Joachim, her husband, and all the kindred, because there was no dishonesty found in her. From that day forth was Daniel had in great reputation in the sight of the people.
Right. So that's the story of Susanna. That's the story of Susanna. Now, it's a lot you can take from that story. It's a lot you can take from that story. It's one scripture in particular, for some reason, and I like the scripture, but it ain't in my mind off the top right now, so I gotta pull it up. Damn, where's it at? It's in Sirach.
What is it about?
Sirach 11:29. Some of y'all need to remember because these was elders. So you know what? They wore fringes and a beard. They knew the laws and stuff. So make sure y'all be careful. This is something you better remember when you're dealing with these spirits out here.
Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 29. Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man have many trains.
For a deceitful man have many trains. Now, you know, trains run all over the world. A deceitful man have many trains. You don't know what the hell this man, what spirits he gonna bring in your house with him. You'll never know the true intentions of him. Just say, don't bring every man in your house. These dudes sat at her husband's dinner table and plotted on ways to sleep with his wife every day. And when they finally took the opportunity to do it and she denied it, they tried to have her put to death. And she was nearly there. Also bearing false witness. That's something that you can take from the story. There's also a big part of this is this story teaches you about lying.
About the tongue. Yeah.
What's another one that if a lot of people they read this story and they never catch it, and it always surprises me. It's one major one. It's one major one.
She humbled herself and allowed God to take.
That's one, but that's not the one I'm talking about. Remember, these dudes were what?
Oh.
So now, what do you think?
I would have trying to lie with another man's wife.
Mm-mm. I don't want to say it because I might give it away.
Watch your damn elders, they could be wicked.
They just ran and jumped with whatever they said.
Yeah, they
Because
respect the person.
Bingo. About respect of a person.
That made the elders wicked.
And then that scripture about judging the matter.
Judging the whole matter. Bingo.
When they start going into it, I was like, they ain't even judge the whole matter.
Bingo. You see that in a lot of congregations today. A husband and a wife have an issue, and we instantly do what?
Jump on the husband's side.
Jump. I said in a lot of congregations, you see when the husband and wife have a little issue or whatever, they jump down on the gut. Oh my goodness, they beat that woman up. And you're like, damn, did you judge the matter? Let's see you know what I'm saying, what's going on. Now, also, where's that done vice versa at?
Where they jump on her.
They jump, slap down on the husband, the woman can't do no wrong.
America.
Pretty much. Christian church. Even like I just made a post recently because lately I've been sharing posts where black women themselves are coming out saying we need to treat the black man better. Marriages are failing because black women won't respect the black man. Like this post is going out, and you know every last one of the posts is either other wicked women trying to defend it, or it's weak ass men, ass kissing men on there telling some and the man need to know how to treat the woman too. Why don't you shut the hell up? The woman is sitting here giving correction to her nation of women, and here you go sticking your nose in it. I have I'm gonna tell you I got a problem with it because you can say anything you want about the black man that's negative, and people will back you up. But the moment you say something about the woman, they throw it back to the man. It is a crime to correct the woman in today's world.
What's feminist as hell?
You know what I'm saying? We got to get to a point. Remember, accountability is everything. We have to get back to the point where you can say something is wrong with the woman and it not be a man as a defense for it. Meaning, like, say women need to learn how to, let's say we say the woman needs to learn how to close her legs and stop playing with everybody. Well, I never had no daddy. If my daddy was there, I'd have knew who. We got to get to the point where we take the excuses away and the woman deals with that issue as, okay, you didn't have a daddy. What does that have to do with you opening your legs? You get what I'm saying? We have to get to the point where no longer there's an excuse or a cop out for the woman, because guess what? You could call a black man sorry as hell. Nobody will say, don't say that about black man. You know what I'm saying? His mama didn't teach him how to love a woman. Nobody would say that. Nobody would say that. As like, amen, you still know right. You know what I'm saying? So you can say whatever you want about the black man. The black man can be sorry as hell. He loses his job, he ain't shit. He can be all the above. Don't you say about the woman, they have to, and so when you say something about the woman, they throw it right back at the man. So I digress, but you know, Susanna's story teaches you a lot, and I see it a lot, because you know, in Susanna's case, this was a woman who she didn't have a chance to defend herself. She didn't have a chance to speak her piece, her part.
Right.
And I see that in a lot of congregations. That's why here, we ain't gonna give the woman the right to disrespect her husband and stuff like that. But we also ain't gonna just sit here and ignore, as if you gotta have a part in this. You know what I'm saying? Who's ever right is right, and who's ever wrong is wrong, and that's what it is. All right. So respect the person and all that stuff. Lying. It's the 1,000,001 things you can take from the story of Susanna. One says, be careful who you bring into your house. That's one. The deceitful man has many trains. Who knows a scripture that I want right now that goes behind what I'm just talking about? Bring not every man into the house, for the deceitful man have many trains. Because a lot of people look like they have the right spirit, but it tells you the spirit. A lot of people look like they have the right spirit, but the scriptures tells you to do what? What's that?
1 John 4:1.
Let's go. I need somebody to pull it and read it.
1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world.
All right, so it says, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits. That means test them spirits. You got to test them. Just because they betray to be holy, they betray to be righteous, they put fringes on, they wear their beards, they say shalom, all that. All right. Once I say you better test them spirits, try every spirit. In other words, do what to all things? Right. Sorry, 6 and 8.
Sirach chapter 6 and verse 8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
Jump up to verse 7.
If thou wouldst get a friend, prove him first.
If thou gettest a friend, do what?
Prove him first.
No.
And be not hasty to credit him.
And be not hasty to credit him. I mean, don't be so fast to think everybody's your goddamn friend. Everybody's trustworthy. You stupid as hell if you got that type of mindset. You meet a brother, he got fringes on. You meet a sister, they got fringes on. This gonna be my wife. No, he cool, man. He cool. Everybody ain't goddamn cool because they got fringes. You know what I'm saying? Them elders wore fringes, but they was trying to lay with this man's wife, and they was gonna get her put to death. Now, I'm quite sure before that happened, they probably thought they was cool.
Shit, they were eating that.
Like, think about the treachery of that. You eating at my God, Lord have mercy. You eating at my table.
I bet Joe Kim gas them all types of stones at the if that's what they did.
Man, think about this, man. You got this dude eating your. Think about this level here, because I've seen this. These dudes are supposed to be like good friends.
Mm-hmm.
He see this man's daughter, watch her grow up, and when she get into high school or just about graduation time in high school, or whatever, he going by school picking her up. He's sleeping with the man's daughter. Now think about the level of treachery in that. You and this dude supposed to be friends, meanwhile he laying with your daughter. But he pulled up in his truck and he drinking Miller High Lifes and everything with you and hanging with you and at your family barbecues and all that. But meanwhile, he's scoping your daughter.
Man, these motherfuckers had history of doing that. That ain't she ain't the first one. They tried that with the other one's feared and they laid with them anyway.
Bingo, you can guarantee that.
They said that in 57.
Read it again.
Thus have ye dealt with the daughters of Israel, and they for fear company with you.
Bingo.
But the daughter of Judah would not abide your wickedness.
Right. So they've done this. That was their first time doing that.
Yeah, they did that plenty of times.
They've laid with other men's wives.
Got their ass caught this one.
But this particular time, this Judite sister, this Judite sister wasn't having it, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. Scripture tell you, if you hasty to prove people, you hasty to think everybody's cool, you stupid. And I'm just giving Sirach 19 and 4, because somebody might say I'm lying.
Sirach chapter 19 and verse 4. He that is hasty to give credit is like-minded.
What does it mean if I say you like-minded? You simple as hell. You stupid.
I mean, you're not all that smart.
Somebody, the elevator don't hit the top floor.
I had looked it up. You're not all that smart.
Right, you a couple sandwiches short of a picnic. What do you say? A few cupcakes short of a bakery. So you ain't a full deck of cards. Not the sharpest knife in the drawer. All that, all the above. Read it again.
He that is hasty to give credit is like-minded, and he that sinneth shall offend against his own soul.
Right. So if you hasty to give credit, you are like-minded. I'm telling you, man, the level of treachery that we have read in these scripts would let you remember the scripture say, what's that? I think it's Proverbs. It's in Proverbs.
What?
It's about all men are something like all men are liars. Maybe I'm wrong. It's probably ain't in Proverbs.
I thought it was in Romans. Let every man be a lie.
Well, that's a good one too. That's a good one too. Yeah. I'm gonna find it. Psalms. Yeah, Psalms 116 verse 11. Psalms 116 verse 11.
Psalms chapter 116 and verse 11. I say in my haste, all men are liars.
He said, I said in my haste, all men are liars. All men are liars. So if all men are liars, how you gonna know who you're dealing with? If all men are liars, how do we know who we dealing with? You gotta prove it. What happens is people put stuff in your face all the time. They put it right in your face. It's rather, are you paying attention or are you gonna catch it? And then you watch people actions. They show you who they are all the time. It's on you if you receive it or not. Sometimes you see stuff about people, you like, man, and then you like, maybe I'm just tripping. Or because y'all had fun this day, you throw that to the background, and then as time goes on, they eventually do it to you, and you're like, just pay attention. People tell you and show you who they are. Remember, what's the scripture I like to go to? How will we know them?
By their fruit.
Will we go to see that?
All right. Okay.
People show you who they are all the time. We, as people, neglect to see it.
Matthew 7 and 20.
Come on.
Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them.
Wherefore by their fruits you should know them, by their works, by their deeds, by their doing. Also, Because remember, Most High said he does what? He said, "Speak no more exceedingly proud, for God is a man of knowledge, and by him
All actions are weighed.
actions are weighed." Who remembers what I said? I'll give you a hint. It's 1 Samuel. I'm telling y'all, I better make sure I'm right. Yeah, I'm right. It's in 1 Samuel's. In the early chapters.
It's 2 and 3.
Right. 1 Samuel 2 and 3.
First Samuel chapter 2 and verse 3. Talk no more exceeding proudly.
Right. Most I want to hear deceivingly proud talk. And the same thing with us, man. The hell with, I mean, don't get me wrong. Listen to what people say, because they'll tell you who they are in their conversations too. But you know what I'm saying, you know, you got people that talk good. They good with their words. So much pay attention to what people say.
Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed.
And by him actions are weighed. Now, so talking about exceedingly proud. What's his name? Salakia. Simon Peter. He was talking exceedingly proud. I'm ready to ride with you forever. He crossed my eye. For the crow, you gonna deny me 3 times. I will die with you. He talking exceedingly proud. What happened when it was time?
I don't know. I don't know.
He denied him.
I told you, I don't know that.
Yeah, they say he wanted to cussing them out. He wanted to cussing them out. Obviously they say he wanted to swearing, so he wanted to curse him. Well, I ain't gonna say cursing. He wanted to cuss him. Talking to servant. I told you something, bitches. Oh no, don't keep asking me that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? He denied him, but now you gotta think about it, man. How many times have y'all been with people that somebody else came all of a sudden they acting different?
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody with you until now you going through something. They dip off, they go. You can show you who they are all the time, man. It's just us. We don't want to accept it. So now, with that being said, it's a lot that you can take from that Susanna story. A lot. All right, so I hope y'all, for those who don't like to read the history of Susanna, I hope this helps you out. With that, I'm gonna close this piece out. Shalom.
Shalom.